What is up, everybody? This is my Royal Rumble 2023 preview and predictions. First off, I want to thank everybody that watched the Raw watch along with me last night. It was a great episode. I thought Raw 30 knocked it out of the park. And then I also want to thank everybody that watched my little YouTube short of me throwing my Ezekiel Elliott jersey in the trash. That got like 900 views overnight. I woke up and I had a bunch of notifications on my phone. So, thank you to anyone that watched that. And, if you're new to the channel, I do talk a lot of wrestling right here. And we're about to get into that right now with Royal Rumble 2023 live from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. First matchups Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I think it's pretty obvious that Roman Reigns is going to retain here. He's not losing the belts until WrestleMania. I think this will be a great match because I've never seen Roman and KO have a bad match. I've seen them have some that are better than others, but they've never had like a truly bad match. They have good chemistry. I feel like the most interesting thing in this match is going to be what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. Last night on Raw, there was okay, I'm going to give you your last test on Saturday. So I'm wondering if Sami Zayn's last test is going to be, put Kevin Owens out to the pasture and help Roman Reigns retain his title. There's a bunch of ways they can go with it. All of it's going to end with a Roman Reigns victory, but it's going to be interesting how the story plays out with Sami Zayn. That's going to be the most intriguing part of this match. But, either way, Roman Reigns is still walking out as champion and going to live to probably surpass 900 days as champion. Up next, Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. I talked about last night in the stream, and by the way, I'm recording this on Tuesday night. I guess I should have mentioned that. This will be released either Wednesday or Thursday, but as I'm recording right now, it's Tuesday. As I mentioned last night on the stream, I said I was 50-50 on this match. After listening to some other wrestling podcasts and kind of seeing the reaction on Twitter, I do believe now it's kind of more 70-30 Bianca winning and retaining, and then going on to WrestleMania to face the Royal Rumble winner, which I'm not going to get into right now. Um, I said I could see Alexa winning just because, Alexa has not had anything to do since she came back, and I feel like another loss would just kill her. And, right now she's in the stuff with Bray Wyatt. They had that segment with Uncle Howdy a few weeks ago, and to be honest, I'm just not feeling the Bray Wyatt stuff, and I don't think Alexa should be back involved in that stuff because it just feels like okay, nothing's progressed over the last 3 years with both of them, which I'm about to get into with the Bray Wyatt LA Knight match. But I believe Bianca's going to retain here and face who wins the Royal Rumble. I'll get into that in a second. Um, it wouldn't shock me if Alexa won just because I feel like she does need a big win, but I don't think it's going to come on Saturday. Men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. So here, I got the Wikipedia page pulled up. We're going to look at who's been announced for the Rumble so far. We're going to look at the men's first. So of the 30 spots, 15 are taken so far with Kofi Kingston, Santos Escobar, Ricochet, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Omos, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross. Um, I feel like everyone feels like this. For both Rumbles, actually, I'm gonna give three winners instead of one, just kind of not go with the obvious answer that everyone's going with. Um, my number one choice is going to be Cody Rhodes. I feel like it's been building since the Raw after WrestleMania last year when he announced his intentions to go after the WWE Championship. I feel like, ever since then, we've all kind of known that Cody Rhodes was probably going to win the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble, especially after the pec tear. And he's my number one pick. My number two, obviously, Sami Zayn, just because, he's really freaking hot right now. There's no denying that Sami Zayn, once he splits away from the bloodline, he's going to be a huge baby face. And I feel like he has enough momentum that if he won the Royal Rumble, everyone would be so excited, just because they've had really great story progression. Number three, well, actually, it's going to be three and four because according to a report from Fightful, Stone Cold Steve Austin was pitched a match with Roman Reigns. And then there's been the rumors of The Rock all year, with WrestleMania being in Hollywood this year. So it could be either Stone Cold or The Rock as my number three winner. More likely The Rock than Stone Cold. I do believe Stone Cold is going to be in this match. And I'm going to go over my surprise entrance here in a few. So I do think Stone Cold's going to be in the match just because it is in Texas. And there's other people I think are going to be in the match. I think Great Muta, he's retiring this year. He had that match with Shinsuke Nakamura a couple weeks ago. So I do believe we might get Great Muta in, excuse me, in the Men's Royal Rumble match this year just because I think he's also going to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. So I think he's going to get introduced to fans that don't watch New Japan and then get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Also, X-Pac, he's talked about, continuing wrestling. He looked really good on Raw last night, so I definitely think there's a chance we could see X-Pac. HBK, I don't think is likely, especially after the line of, oh, no, I'm too old last night. But, it is in Texas. There was a lot of rumors last time that the Royal Rumble was in San Antonio that he was going to be in it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in it this time, but he's the least likely of all these surprise entrants. Zack Ryder / Matt Cardona, he's been trademarking all the Zack Ryder stuff. He's been the number one name I've been hearing as a surprise entrant. And, I know him and Sean Ross Sapp have a great relationship. And Sean's kind of loosely said that, Chelsea Green is coming back to WWE. So I definitely believe if she's coming back, Zack Ryder may not be coming back, but I definitely think he'll be in the Royal Rumble. I think he likes what he's doing right now with Impact Wrestling, and I mean he is killing it on the independent scene. He's been NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He's held a bunch of different promotions, World Championships. So he's killing it outside WWE, and I feel like him being in the Royal Rumble this year would just be a business move on his part. Like, I don't think we would see him on Raw the next night. Um, and, if this was a Vince McMahon booked Royal Rumble, there's no way that would be happening. But with Triple H, that's why I think we're going to have Great Muta, and that's why I think we're going to have Matt Cardona, just because it's a Triple H booked Royal Rumble and he's more open to stuff. I mean, look what he did in NXT when they brought in Juice and Thunder Liger, I mean, this is the stuff that I think we're going to start seeing for the next couple of years with Triple H, as long as Vince McMahon's old ass doesn't rip the company away from him and rip creative away from him. MVP, this is another one that I don't think is likely. It wouldn't surprise me because I think MVP is from Texas, and so it wouldn't surprise me if he did enter the Royal Rumble. But he also hasn't competed since the Thunderdome. I don't think he's had a match um, since the Thunderdome, so I don't think it's likely, but it wouldn't surprise me. Matt Riddle, I think his 6 week rehab stay is over. He's probably on his way back. I don't know if he's going to end up going after Solo Sequoia or whatever the hell they're going to do with him, but I definitely think we're going to get Matt Riddle back. And then Edge, he's been gone for a long time. We're about to have WrestleMania season. I think we're going to have Edge and Finn Balor at WrestleMania, probably Hell in the Cell. So I definitely think Edge is going to return. So let's see, Austin Rock, Great Muta. So it's 3, X-Pac 4, HBK 5, Zack Ryder 6, MVP 7, Matt Riddle 8, Edge 9. So that's 9 more entrants on top of the 15 that are already announced. So 24 spots, still 6 available. We might get Brock Lesnar. I don't think we're going to get like The Undertaker or anything. But so Brock Lesnar, so that'd be 10. So there's still 5 spots available. So we don't know. Maybe both the Usos. I mean, these aren't surprises. This is me kind of guessing right now. So maybe like all the bloodline, so Sami Zayn, both Usos, Solo. I mean, they haven't been announced yet. That'd be a very SmackDown heavy Rumble, though. I mean, here, let's see, 3, five, nine. So 9 of the 15 people announced are all on the SmackDown side. So let's see if it'll be evened out. We might get some people from NXT as well. On to the Women's Royal Rumble. Only 7 participants have been announced yet. Liv Morgan, give me a second, lost in my place. Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, Emma. So the Women's Rumble is going to be very difficult this year because they really don't have that much of a roster. I mean, hell, 7 out of 30 possible people. That's really not that much, especially considering the Rumble is only a few days away. And when I was trying to put together a list of women's surprises, it was a lot harder than the men. Like, I definitely think we're going to get like Molly Holly and Lita and Michelle McCool because they've been in almost every single women's rumble since the women's rumble became a thing. So it's not really going to surprise me that they're going to be in it. I think the biggest surprise that we're going to have is going to be Naomi. I think Naomi's finally going to return, and I think she's going to get a huge pop, coming back in the Royal Rumble. I think whenever she was gone for a little bit last year, or not last year, a couple years ago, and she returned in the Rumble, I believe that was in, or was that last year? I can't remember. Um, it was either the one in Texas or the one in St. Louis. She came back and got a huge pop. I think she'll get an even bigger one this time. Um, there's one report saying like, the lights out match with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight is going to have a lot of neon elements. I think we're also going to have a lot of neon elements with Naomi's entrance, just something to think about. I believe Chelsea Green, as I touched on earlier, is going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble match and then um, be back on WWE full time. I think she's coming back to the company. Like I said, I don't think her husband is. I think Beth Phoenix, if Edge is in the Rumble, I think Beth Phoenix will be in the Rumble. Mickie James, she just won the Impact Knockouts Championship a few weeks ago. I definitely think we're going to get a repeat of last year and have her back into the match with the belt. Like I said, it's another thing. Like, I was listening to this podcast the other day from Fightful Select where, they made that deal with Mickie James, and at the last minute, Vince was like, I don't want that damn belt on my show. With Triple H, I definitely don't think he cares if that belt's on the show. I mean, Mickie James being on the Rumble isn't going to make anybody watch Impact, no offense. But, it's beneficial for Impact for their belt to be on the show, even though I don't think it's going to make anybody watch that show. And then I think we're going to have a lot of NXT names. I could definitely see both members of Toxic Attraction. I could see Tiffany Stratton. I could see Indy Hartwell doing something with Candice LeRae. Um, what's her name? I'm blanking on Blair Davenport. I don't know what's going on with her. I haven't seen her on NXT in a long time. I don't know if she has visa issues or if she's hurt or anything, but I know they were really high on her a few months ago, so I wouldn't be surprised to see her in the Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised to see um, Roxanne Perez. I mean, almost all the NXT women's roster because they got to fill out this field because they don't have enough women right now. I don't think we're going to have Becky Lynch just because I think she's going to be selling the injuries from last night on Raw. I do think we'll end up having all of Damage Control, obviously. So it's like almost 20 spots of people I just named. I mean, there's probably other people from NXT that I'm just blanking on. Cora Jade could be in there. There's going to be a lot of NXT women in this Royal Rumble. I can bet on that. I would not be surprised if we had over 9 women from NXT in the Rumble this year. Let's see, what match is next? So, oh crap, I didn't even give a winner. I apologize. Who do I think is likely to win the Women's Royal Rumble match? I think most likely it's going to be Rhea Ripley. That's who I think is going to end up fighting Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, and that's kind of like the consensus pick on all the wrestling podcasts and prediction shows. They're all picking Rhea Ripley. I think a dark horse could be Becky Lynch. It wouldn't surprise me if they do Becky Lynch and Charlotte, just because, I mean, that's a match you can do anytime and it's going to get buzz, especially with the real life heat that they have for each other. I mean, that match just sells itself. And, I think everybody's kind of before when Becky Lynch was heel, they were kind of sick of her. I think everyone's kind of warmed up to her, especially with her being gone for so long after she got hurt. I definitely feel like she's been well received since she came back. And my third possible winner, it was just floating in my head a second ago. And then my third possible winner is Asuka, just because I feel like her and Charlotte have a lot of unfinished business. So I definitely feel like they could do that match at WrestleMania. Because the question right now is, booking Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley is easy. The problem now is who is going to face Charlotte at WrestleMania. Because I don't feel like it's going to be Ronda Rousey. I've seen the live stream that Ronda Rousey did saying that she kind of wants to stay in the tag team division with Shayna Baszler. So I don't think it's going to be her at WrestleMania. I think we're going to either get Becky Lynch or Asuka, which I know it's two people that Charlotte's faced before, but it's also two people she's had great matches with, and that I don't think it's something that's not going to stink on the show. Like, I feel like everyone could be interested in that match even if they've seen it 100 times because Becky and Charlotte have never had a bad match, and Asuka and Charlotte have never had a bad match. Up next, Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight Mountain Dew pitch black match. If this match ends up being a cinematic match, I feel like the crowd's going to turn on it. It's going to really bring down the vibes of the show. Kind of like whenever Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton had that House of Horrors match, I believe that's what it was called. The crowd grew very restless during that. Now, if it's what I think it's going to be, where these guys are going to be in like kind of like light up suits, and all the lights in the arena are going to be turned out. I feel like that could be a lot of fun. Kind of depends on how the camera work's going to be. This is a match that I don't trust Kevin Dunn with, but excuse me, if it's a cinematic match, definitely don't think it's going to go over well. Obviously, the winner is going to be Bray Wyatt. I mean, he hasn't even wrestled since he came back. And that's kind of the problem with Bray Wyatt. It's just been him talking. And, he says everything and nothing at the same time, which is good if you're running a company. Like, if you're a businessman, saying everything and nothing at the same time is great. It just keeps people off your back. If you're a pro wrestler, it's very boring because it doesn't feel like the story's progressing. And I really haven't been interested in Bray Wyatt since he came back, really, because he hasn't really done anything. I am kind of interested to see who Uncle Howdy's going to be, just because I think the look and the theme music and all that is cool. But Bray Wyatt himself and his character, I'm just not interested in. And then I don't know where LA Knight goes from here. Maybe a multi-man match at WrestleMania, maybe touring away in the mid card. It's hard to guess with him, but I feel like this is going to be the only match of their program. And oh dang, we're out of matches. I thought we had one more match. I guess not though. I guess I went over all of them. Do I see any matches being added? I don't think we're gonna get Becky Lynch and Bayley. I feel like they might save that next week for Raw. Maybe they'll make it a Hell in a Cell match. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna add it as like a late thing on the Royal Rumble pay per view. I think we're gonna get an announcement for being on Raw the next night, and that's about it. Anyway, that's the video. Thank y'all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If y'all have any Royal Rumble predictions, leave them down in the comments below. I mean, if you have any out of left field ones, I mean, feel free to share them. If you think that Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair are going to be the final two and one of them's going to go on to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I mean, hell, dude, if that's what you think's going to happen, go ahead and let your thoughts be heard in the comments below. Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at CDUS19. Hopefully recording a podcast tonight that'll be out later this week, and hopefully this video will probably be out tomorrow. Like I said, thanks to anybody that watched it, and have a good night.